right, who wants to hear about high-octane adventures and the latest and greatest on the motor scene? It's time to rev it up with John and Jess on Joy 1340.
Merry Christmas and welcome back to Rev It Up with John and Jess, coming at you on Joy 1340 AM and 98.7 FM.
Welcome back, Grinch. We have
Shots fired right out the gate.
Well, we'll talk about the phone court situation later, but anyways. So we have two celebrity guests here from the better half of the studio, I guess.
The good part. The
good part. We're in a closet, everybody should know, and they have like a fantasy suite, I guess we were just talking about. So welcome our very special guests here, Borna and Mandy for the afternoon show.
102.9 The Hog.
102.9 The Hog.
Well, thank you. Hi.
Thanks for having us.
It's great being here. Yes. Is that what you say? Is that what you say as guests?
Yeah, I've never been a guest.
I don't know if I ever have either. I'm trying to think if I have. I know I've never set in over 9 years of working here in this building. I've never set foot in this room.
Same.
Until just now.
Same season.
Until the studio.
This is the other side of the train tracks.
Yeah.
Clearly, literally.
Yeah.
Not almost literally, but
since we're on this radio, is it the better side of the tracks or the worst side of the tracks?
I like the worst side of the tracks.
Yeah,
but it's cozy in here. It's nice. I mean, it's nice.
Cozy.
It's cozy.
That's polite way of saying this.
We're
is
sitting closer to each other. The other ones are so far away.
So cold.
Very far away, right? Yeah.
We are very close.
This is close. Mandy and I never sit this close to each other. So that's what's weird
so
about
true.
it. That's what's weird about it.
Even when you're at the shows, you guys are like 6 feet apart.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, it's true, but also it's weird because we don't want to be like that couple that sits on the same side of the booth at the restaurant.
Right.
It's a lot easier, for him to be over there so I can see, and then I don't have to tilt my whole body and head because we do actually look at each other to communicate. It makes it a little bit easier. But it's just weird when he's next to me. I'm like, ugh,
Yeah, that's true. Well, there you go.
And I don't know what to do with my hands because I'm usually running stuff. There's nothing for me to do here. So what do I do? I just sit in my pockets.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do. It's weird.
You don't know what to do with your pockets?
Yeah.
Where do I put my hands and you keep putting them up like that?
Well, but it's the thing. People don't know what to do with their hands a lot of times when they speak or on video. I know you're recording this on video too. Yeah. So it's kind of like, what do you do? But even around you, like people in conversation don't know what to do. You're talking to somebody and they get fidgety and nervousness.
We watch you guys all the time when you're interviewing somebody like at our shows and stuff like that. And who was the Steelheart guy that was doing his hair the whole time?
Yeah,
I don't know
the lead singer.
Real name.
Yeah, I don't know his name, but that guy.
And he's Croatian guy too. So I was bonding with him over that. Yeah, that show. Yeah,
it's so funny though. We watch a lot of people and they really don't know what to do. They're watching you two the whole time, like, okay, then they put their hands down here.
Put a guitar in his hand, also be like,
exactly. Very easy. So I don't know. That's why I'm just gonna sit here and look at you, John, and
it's awkward this time.
And we're doing
staring
a show.
in John's eyes.
Yeah. Oh God, here we go. Yeah. So, all right, Jess, what are you going to ask him? You got all these questions.
Well, you made me all nervous now because you're like, I hope you don't have an outline. Let's not make it boring.
Okay, well, let's start with Borna. When did you get started in the business?
Is that what it says there?
I thought we're doing a Christmas. We're doing a Christmas show.
Let's do a Christmas show.
Nobody wants to talk.
Merry Christmas.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Borna, what's your Tinder account?
Want to text you the link to it right now?
Right. We'll flash it on the screen for later.
Yeah, I bet you Christmas is a good Tinder time too.
I
would imagine, right?
There's something
I should
called
do this later here today.
where people, it's the season where they like
cuffing season.
That's what it's called?
There's
It's called cuffing season. And you just get together while it's cold outside.
Like
so you have somebody to... That gesture, did you guys see that?
Yeah, we
talk with my hands.
I totally missed this in my single years. Explain the cuffing season and Christmas.
Yeah, I never heard about the cuffing season.
Around the holidays,
so.
yeah.
The cuffing season is when it's cold outside and for the holidays that you just hook up with somebody just to have somebody to be with and snuggle with and watch movies and blah, blah, blah. You don't go to each other's like events and whatnot. You just hang out because it's cold and you got nothing else to do. So you find a person to hang out with.
Season, eh?
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, it's called cuffing season. This is your time, Born.
Right?
Yeah, because I don't want to go to anybody's family stuff.
No one does.
For
no
sure.
one does.
And
and you don't want to take anybody.
Right, I don't want anyone to come to mine, my family stuff.
But you definitely be open to the cuffing season, though.
The cuffing part, sure.
So is that...
Wait, are we talking about this? Or are we talking about
is there a limit? I don't know the rules of cuffing season. So could you have to? Is it just one person per season?
I think you have. That's up to you and your cuffing partner.
Well, no, I mean. I don't know, maybe.
I don't think so.
All over the place.
I think, right.
As long as maybe you're honest about it. What's it matter?
I think it's open cuffing season.
And if nobody asks, don't ask, don't tell.
Right.
I wouldn't volunteer that
nobody's
information.
asking, and I mean, like, if you've got from November to New Year's, really? I mean, from Thanksgiving to New Year's?
Right.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, I think it starts around.
Just somebody to,
It's a Thanksgiving hard start.
to hang out with, but not go to functions with. But what about work functions or a holiday party or
I think
things like that?
I think that's up to you. But again, I think this is more of like a secret person.
It's on the DL.
Yeah, like they don't actually meet
Yeah.
anybody. You don't actually do anything outside of your own houses.
Because
You
you
know,
gotta explain. Nobody wants to explain.
right? Like who's this?
Right.
Meet the people. Blah.
How quickly in anybody's respective relationship did you go to the other person's family Christmas? Let's say you started dating somebody. You started dating somebody in the fall. Is that?
Are you
like, do you want to come over
expected already
to Christmas? To me, that seems too soon, but that's me.
That's pretty
I'd wait
soon.
if we're still around the next year. Sure.
Let's
do
get
some Christmas
specific.
stuff.
Let's talk
So,
about you two specifically, John and Jess.
not.
Let's do
can
that.
we
Let's
talk
do
about-
that.
Is this a car show too? I mean, I don't know what kind of show is this.
Right.
I guess it's called Rev It Up. Are we
Rev It Up.
revving up a relationship?
Okay, but
What
anyway,
kind of car did you pick Jess up in when you took
Right.
her to your family for the first time?
The first time. Well, actually, Jess started out as she handed out flyers for Motor Mania in 2020.
Okay.
2020. Okay, so you two are fairly new. I wasn't sure how long you've been to.
So
Yeah.
Together
basically,
back,
I
yeah.
was a paid employee.
Okay.
to
You
hand
stalked
out
me for a while, and I really
brochures.
couldn't
That's
cut
not what
loose.
it happened.
Okay, wait. So how did you decide you were like gonna even get involved with this company?
So we have a mutual friend who he reached out to her and said, "Hey, do you have like a cute friend that would be willing to come down and hand out brochures at my booth?"
So the girl was busy, but Jess showed up.
No,
So it was-
we went down together. He's so mean.
Right.
I did my job. I did my
Yep.
job very well.
Apparently.
Yeah, people like me down
There's
there.
a lot of cuffing going on.
No, there was no cuffing. It was all innocent. Anyway, he, from what I understand, he stalked my Facebook after that.
Oh,
Okay.
classic.
And then-
classic dude move.
Right. I was actually told to stay away from him.
That
And I
also
really,
can-
I
I
took
can
that
understand
literally.
that totally.
I took
Oh,
that
I
literally.
totally see that.
correct.
Yeah.
I even told her to stay away
Yeah.
from me.
I totally see that.
I
I would have told
her
you the same thing had I known you. Before.
Right. What are you doing?
Right, right,
Are
right.
you nuts? You know? I'm free this season. Why don't you want to cuff with me instead? Or I'd be like,
I don't know where this is going, but anyway, that was
So
the start.
okay,
Of it.
so as you worked the event, the Motor Mania event,
Yes.
and then from there,
Then you fell in
John,
love
you-
instantly, or
No,
what?
no, no.
You started
Oh,
this
I didn't see
after the Facebook stalking. Then was the
Because
next step.
then that was in February of
Okay.
2020.
I didn't hear from her
Then
for like a year.
January 2021, I just
Yeah.
put a post on Facebook. Hey, I'm going to take my kids tubing. Does anybody want to come meet us out there?
Mm-hmm.
And my kids were already loaded up, ready to go to ski hill.
That's not true. He stalked my Facebook again before replying
I have
and
no
said,
say in
"I'll
this.
go."
Just like watching The Bachelor or 90 Day Fiancé, we have no say.
What?
And then we all met up and the kids, and we all just had this really a blast. But the funny part is, like, we both just kind of got out of relationships and we're like, we're not dating. We're never dating again. Like,
Right.
we're
Yeah.
focused on our kids. Like, that is it.
Yeah.
Well, we had to stand in line for 2 hours because it was so busy at the ski hill that all we did was talk.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, kind of looking at him like, well, he's not so bad. You know,
Yeah.
like,
He's not so bad.
he's not so bad.
That's
I was going to start talking,
Yeah.
but I keep getting shut off here. So
Go, go. Let's hear your
that's,
version now.
John, my dream is to have someone look at me and say, "You're not so bad."
It's like,
I'll
you
be
know,
like-
is it that point,
Yeah.
or is it just like I'm at this point in my life?
Yeah.
Like, what? This is all really.
I'm not probably not gonna do much better at this
Yeah,
point.
I
in my
don't
life,
think
so,
at this
yeah.
point in my life anything
You're not
better
so
come
bad.
along.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
where I was at my dating history. I was
Right.
like, well, he's not the worst.
Right,
It's not
right.
the worst thing to
Right.
do. Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So
So I tried to play the friend zone for a while, and it wouldn't work. You come on, don't even deny this. Don't
I'm
even
gonna,
lie.
I'm gonna say this one thing, and you listen to. Okay, on Saturday when we went, we were literally like, we're done dating. Really?
Yeah.
That following Wednesday, he literally said, "Well, dating's not the worst thing that there is."
Term you two seem to love
Right.
to exchange between each other. There.
Right.
It's not the worst.
When I said it's not the worst thing to do, she just assumed
the
it
most
wasn't
terrible-
the worst thing to date her. I just said not the worst
Oh,
thing
that's
at
what
all,
I take
dating,
it. Well, I
you know?
apologize. I
Yeah.
took it wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, as usual.
Yeah, so our kids were hanging out first, and then I kept ignoring her at dinners and stuff like that. And I took her out to dinner one
Classic
night.
move. Classic dude move.
Right,
Right,
right.
yeah,
I
that
took
is
her out to dinner
classic.
at Silver Lake Inn one night, and she went in for a kiss, and I just gave her the hug.
He totally did.
I
We
gave her the
walked
side
out
hug.
to the parking
Totally.
lot.
John, are
Under
you
the street
serious?
light. It was all nice. There was
On the
snow on the
lake.
ground. On the
Look at
lake.
Porter's like, I've done it before.
That's
Look
probably,
at
I'm sure
lake.
I've done it, something like that. Yeah.
I got.
Well, see you later.
I
Thanks.
thought for sure.
That's totally what I did, too.
Thanks for a great time. See you later.
I
did.
thought for sure I was gonna get a kiss. Nope, I got a hug. I'll see you later. And I
Off to
literally
the-
stood there and I'm like, I went, well, okay, all right, that's all
Yeah.
right. Maybe he doesn't like me after all.
Well, then it was like, look at Mandy's face over there.
Well, I'm just a little bit baffled because
like I said, okay, everybody had their single fun days for a long time.
Sure, sure.
And I'm like, do I want to get involved and do this all again? It wasn't her. It was just like Borna was just saying.
It's not you, it's me.
Right.
Yeah, classic.
Right.
This instance was true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
But there's some truth. I don't. It's so cliched, but there's some truth in that sometimes.
Yeah.
A lot of
Right,
times.
I mean,
where it's
you've done it. I mean, we've all done it. Before.
Sure,
So
sure.
I'm like, okay, so then it was pretty much I had all the kids overnight at a hotel in Jackson for a little birthday party thing, and she came over to pick up the kids, and I don't know. She was
You're like,
pretty
well, I
much
got this
throwing
hotel.
herself at
Hey.
me.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
All right.
Sunday morning, I'm like, I gotta kiss her now. I'm stuck in this whole thing. So, I mean, does that?
It was our first kiss 6 weeks later. It was a
Yeah.
kiss.
So a kiss sealed the deal, and you've been
yeah.
together ever since. Never looked back.
that was not
Yeah.
the worst kiss. Then
It
you've
was
had,
not
Jess?
the
Okay.
worst kiss. It was
Yeah.
probably the longest one I've ever had to wait for. But yeah.
Well, I just didn't want to be the guy like, oh yeah, I'd get on that right away. I mean, I was like,
God forbid that John.
Can you say that on this radio station?
It happened.
It's your show.
It's probably going to be our last show. Thanks for doing our last show
It's
on
your
the
show. It's not
station.
my show. I'm just.
well, I
so
mean, it was, so yeah, there's a love story.
that's beautiful.
There's a love story.
I really thought you guys had been together longer.
Everybody thinks that.
Yeah,
For
I-
reals.
You put out that impression. I think that's a
We
good
get
thing. I'm
along
not saying
really
that.
good.
That's not in a. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you would agree with that, man. It's not
I would
in a
agree
bad
with
way.
that. Yeah. It's not bad. I really thought you guys have been together for pretty much forever.
It feels like forever.
She pretty
Sure
much
it does.
jumped right into it and all the businesses and Motor Mania and all that stuff, and she handles it really well.
Yeah.
At first, I'm like, this is crazy life. I'm like, you sure you want to get involved at all? And then all of a sudden, I got rolling, and she's like, this is really kind of nuts because it goes sun up to
Because at
sundown.
first I was like, yeah, absolutely,
Right.
count me in. And all of a sudden I'm
yeah.
like, holy cow.
Well, it can be
this
kind of
is
weird
crazy.
too, especially in a new relationship. You jumping into the business and then you don't know because you've got a new relationship, you've got a business, and it's kind of weird to mesh them together
It's a dynamic.
sometimes.
It's a weird dynamic to be a business partner and
Right. And I'm
partner.
just baffled to hear that it's so new because honestly, you guys seem so well cemented that it seems like it's been seriously. I'm not just saying that because I'm a guest on your show. I seriously thought that. So yeah.
Well,
There's
that's
that.
good to hear. I mean, a lot of people do say that. We get along good. And we argue in public and do stuff like you're supposed to do. So
Of course.
Like
you
an old
have to-
married couple.
Of course.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, it doesn't matter. But it works good,
Yeah.
Speaking of that, do you guys ever have like your days when you're like, I just don't want to look at your face today because
Sure.
you did this and just really ticked me off?
Who? Mandy's face
Yeah.
or okay, work?
She's like, yes.
Oh, sure. Of
Well,
course, yeah.
yes.
I mean, I'd have to say,
We're like, yeah.
Well, I know if we're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about relationships
No,
about
no.
her
Talk about
boyfriend
you two.
or us two.
yeah, I'd have to say that my boyfriend's face irritates me far more than Borna's.
I'll take that. Not so bad.
Look at that.
My
Not the
face is
worst.
not the worst
Yeah.
face
See,
out there.
again,
Yeah.
it's coming up on top lately. It's not so bad.
Yeah.
No, I like to think that we get along pretty well,
I-
99% of the time.
I will agree
You know,
with
so
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems
Yeah.
like you guys always
Yeah.
do.
I will agree with that.
And any conflict is just it's natural and it's fun. It's good. It's good for a good for a show.
No, who
too.
was here first?
On the show?
Yeah.
I was. So
And
I've been on afternoons on the Hog since November 2013. So just
Okay.
past 9 years
Oh,
now.
wow.
Yeah.
And then when they approached you or however it worked that you were going to get a partner, did you have a say in who came on board?
Yeah, well, my partner at the time was Joe, who was here, and then he was here for about a year, and then they had a different guy on. He wanted to do something new where he was on, and we had worked together in Appleton, Green Bay, and then I was working there. Thought, yeah, I come here, and he and I did it together. Then we added Mitch, and then Joe left for Boston, and then we added Mandy.
Okay,
There we
gotcha.
are. So yeah, and a lot of people wanted to, but she was the top choice by far.
There you go.
So.
I approached Borna.
Yeah,
I did.
I had her in mind actually as a
Okay.
as a potential person too, and I was just kind of going through, and I was new in my role here in what I was doing as program director, so kind of trying to figure that out. I had a number of things to do, and like that was a priority thing to do, and I had her as one of the people in mind. And then she approached me out of a bar.
At a
Walking
bar,
out of
yeah.
a bar, yeah. Out of
Borna
after
likes
kickball
to
game,
Was
be
it
yeah.
approached.
cuffing
Yeah.
season?
It was
Yeah.
cuffing. No, it was baseball season because I remember the. Well, no, it was the beginning of cuffing
it was the
season
fall,
because
yeah,
it was
around Halloween time.
playoffs.
Yeah,
It was
October, yeah.
playoffs.
Yeah.
Did you
I
say
think
that
it.
Borna likes to be approached at a bar? He doesn't come up, right? He just
He likes to be approached. I think in all situations, is social and
I'm
professional.
a belly up kind of guy, so I'm just sitting there, and
Yeah.
whoever wants to hang and chat.
But I
Mosey
had
on
been,
over or not, that's fine by me too. I can sit by myself. I can
He'll
sit by
take what he
myself
can get.
in silence very easily too.
Nice.
Yeah, there you
I'll
go.
just sit here.
Yep.
So I can just sit here and not say anything.
You can say,
Please
so
don't.
It works.
Yeah.
But I had been in this building since 2014, but I worked for a different station.
Right. Okay.
And then when that job opened, I was like, hey, Borna, what's up? We were at a bar, and I mentioned it casually because I was scared to do it because I had talked about working on the Hog before, doing overnights, and it was shot down because I was on the other station. So I couldn't do that. And I was like, oh, no, they're never going to let me.
No crossing
They're never going to do, I can't cross these streams.
Right,
if they can't cross that one, I definitely can't cross this one. So I was like, it was Brewers because I remember my boyfriend was at the game and it was the one that was like game 6 that they lost. Like right, if they would have won, they would have went to the World Series. It was that, and we were all like a ton of us were out at a bar watching the game and everything.
Right.
And I can't remember even how it came up, but I was like, hey, Warren, so would you consider me for it? And he was like, yeah, talk to me about it, And I was like, all right. Yeah. And then talked to me. And I auditioned, like there was like an audition process. There was still like a lot of interviews and all that stuff, even though I worked here, like I still had to talk to the GM and do all of this stuff. It was still there was still a lot to it. It wasn't just like, hey, come on.
Actually do your shows because like people just think, oh, they just threw a different person on the air today.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not that simple. If it was that simple, anybody could do it, really. But it's not that simple. Yeah.
Well, I think it's one thing that people realize, like even when they see you guys at like some of our shows or at World of Wheels and they're like, they're just here doing recording. I'm like, you know what it takes to do what they do? There's a lot to put together for that, And you guys got to put it together. And we've been on a couple of shows where we had no guests to go on, so we just dug some up at World of Wheels last year for you. Because the promoter for the show didn't even come and get you guys. You were sitting there like, where do we go?
Well, yeah, you're great about that. You want to talk to the guy that's making tacos here, sure, whatever.
I just throw anybody else.
How about this? Sure, yes, yeah. It makes it easier. It makes it a lot easier. Let's talk to people because that's what's fun.
True.
That's what's being all about. Especially being out. That's what it's all about.
Well, yeah, people like to get entertained on the air, and people listen to you guys every day, so it's good.
Yeah. You guys are on in the afternoon from like 3 to 7, right? Mm-hmm. But you guys are here so much longer than that. Like you guys put in long days, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a full-time job. It's not must be nice to work for 4 hours.
Right,
a day.
that's what it's.
It would be nice. It would be nice to work for 4 hours.
Even if it was just a 4-hour show, that's not just you don't just show up and turn the mics on and just go.
No, there's all kinds of
like
stuff.
Us?
Yeah,
like
this is great. I think I'd rather do this.
Right, that's amazing.
So I think I found my next career move, and I want to be in this room. There's no computers in here, which is great.
No.
Whatever.
Oh my God, there's not.
I don't have to turn.
There's nothing.
I can't turn anything on. I don't have to turn anything on. Any buttons in it. I just show up, sit down,
put
headphones on, and go.
Justin does all the work.
Yeah,
this is
like
amazing.
somebody else doing all the work.
I want to adjust it.
Yeah, you don't have a little Justin or a little gerbil cage over there.
Yeah. You got him to do it, which is great. This is my next career move.
I
want this.
Right?
See, there you go. I mean, you could be scheduling coughing season while you're in here because there's no other thing going on. Coughing or cupping? What do you call it?
Cuffing. Close.
Cuffing.
Coincides with coughing season. As the winter months settle in here, but cuffing.
I thought you said coffin, and I was like, well, now it just got real morbid.
I thought you said cupping, but so
your show, man.
Right?
Not mine. For the record, it's not my
show. So what else you got, Jess?
I just need a minute, I think.
You just need a minute to recover from that?
That's funny.
So, anyway, your relationship, you talked about Jess and I, so what about your situation? Because I heard boyfriend come out 20 times already. I think I was over at your house to move a pool table one time. I got stuck.
You were, and you met him because he also resides there.
Yeah, he also
And to be fair,
roommate.
You didn't show up until the hard work was done.
He's
you
like a
showed up
blister.
in time for pizza and beverages. Oh, no.
Do you want to rewind that?
I do want to rewind that.
I took the downward side of that pool table.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry then.
Oh, did you?
Just kidding.
When I came out, you were there, weren't you, for that?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people there for that.
Justin and I showed up. It was somebody put the thing out. I think Mitch put it out. I don't even know. But he put it out there to move a pool table. And I'm like, oh, no big deal. So next thing you know, Justin calls me. He's like, let's go over and do this. I'm like, so we go over to Mandy's house, and everybody's there. And every guy was kind of looking at it on these little rollers, and it was a slate pool table, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So I said, well, I'll just... Mitch was like, well, you're the biggest guy, just go on that side. So I went to the downside of it, and if you guys were going down, I was holding it on my chest as it was going down there.
Okay,
so
sorry.
I
I thought you were there later. I'm sorry. Thanks for your assistance.
I didn't realize you're the big guy.
Right.
I believe that day we were talking about it on our show, and I had no idea about the slate of a pool table, how heavy that is. And callers were calling saying, "Yeah, this is not an easy job." And I'm thinking, it's moving a piece of furniture.
Yeah,
all move sofas and things like that. It's no joke. Like that's no joke for sure. That might be singly the toughest thing I've ever been a part of to move upstairs and then like a new one down. Do we have to do that? Was it 2 trips?
Yeah.
One out and then one in.
One out, one in.
All the other stuff out to the alley too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what's still at my house? The slate, because the pickers came and took everything except for the slate, and the slate is still in my garage because I can't fit it in a vehicle. I can't smash it up. I can't figure out how to get rid of it. It's still in my life. But yeah, the new pool table is down there too, so thanks for your assistance. It's great.
See, there was,
I'm sorry. I really did. I thought you came. I thought you came on late.
I did eat some chicken wings and pizza, but I wasn't just there for that.
I thought you would just get there for that.
Caught at the bottom of the stairs. You come down your bottom of your stairs, you got to take a quick left. We all got caught at the bottom of the stairs. I remember that.
Yep.
So, yeah, it was fun. So,
Yeah.
I was going to ask if you still had it, so it's good to know because after all that, I'd be like, I got rid of it.
No, I would never. The pool table came with the old one came with the house, and that was the thing.
Bar down there is pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I really wanted to keep it.
Yeah.
And my boyfriend was like, I don't, and I was like, no, absolutely not. But the rails were dead. So it was like an antique table and the rails were dead. And I tried to have somebody come and fix the rails, but there was no way for it to be done. They didn't make it anymore, blah, blah, blah. So I had this guy who was like, hey, I'll just swap it out for you. Because he runs a business that has pool tables. Okay. And so that's how that happened. So I still have that table, and it's awesome and much lighter, so it'll be easier to move next time.
So we skipped over her whole relationship. We just talked
about
oh, yeah. Okay. Avoidance.
Yeah, he just resides there, and then, you go with pool tables. Nothing over
heavy
there.
chicken wings.
That was better, yeah.
Okay, so we met on a dating app, and at the time, it was cuffing season, so I was cuffing with multiple people, as you do when you're on an app and whatever.
So it is okay.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine.
Sure.
I think that it's fine unless you say, "Hey, it's just me and you." Then you should not assume anything.
Right.
It's just what it is.
Yeah. All right, cool.
But then he was like, "You're still seeing other people," and I was like, what? Like, what?
There's a problem?
What's happening? Well, okay, until you stop seeing other people, I'm not going to text you anymore, and I'm not going to. And I was like, right. And I was like, okay. And then he ended up texting me like later that day and was like, just can you, whatever. So we like worked it out. And he was like, I like stopped, talking to other people, and it's been
you gave me 2 hours
6 years now. Well, no, it was a process. It was like, you got to give me some time here, because I had to make sure too, because honestly, like the other people in the cuffing process were great. They were. Yeah. I had like a good batch at that time. It was a good season for cuffing.
Hard to let go, huh?
Yeah, I had it was a good cuffing season.
Yeah,
so
I'm learning a lot here with this batch and cuffing.
Yeah, yeah. So and now it's been like over 6 years.
I am happy to hear finally of someone in person that had a successful dating app story.
Yeah. Well, actually, I know a lot of people.
A few people.
Like a lot of people.
Done it,
married, like a lot of marriages.
Really?
Yeah, a lot.
I just hear the horror stories.
Yeah. And they're out there too, and before that, I had been those horror stories. So, but it only takes one. It only takes
true.
one. Yeah.
It only does.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then we only got you left, so we might as well just go around full circle.
No, I just said I'm just going to be on the app. It's Christmas,
okay.
That's how this whole conversation started.
That's how it all started
at the top of the show. Yeah, that's what the show is.
So it's the Christmas special.
It's the Christmas special. It's a Christmas cuffing special, and I'm going to get the swiping as soon as I'm done. As soon as I'm out of here.
So that's the longest one, the Christmas cuffing
because cuffing season seems to be almost over. We're at Christmas already, right?
Yeah.
This is only another
New Year's. I think New Year's is the last. Yeah.
Not even.
Well, I think you can cuff through
the winter,
March probably. You got to be
'cause
careful
you gotta
around
get through
Valentine's Day.
feeling
careful around that.
It's got to be over by then.
You do.
Yeah. You gotta buy flowers and
you
stuff.
You gotta end that one cuffing right before Valentine's Day, and then you could pick up another one after Valentine's Day till March.
Right, and then summertime. Couldn't you cuff during summertime too? And
no, summertime you just do whatever. It's not cuffing.
What's the summertime version of that?
Yeah,
rather than just because you're out doing things, but
I
don't
have a name. It's just
going to family functions.
Called being free.
Okay.
Enjoying your summer.
So you're not supposed to look up and then we go over summer either?
Oh, no, you can.
Summer
But
fling.
you don't have to, right, but you don't have to, it's not quite as serious as cuffing, where you're like, oh,
that's what they call
like
hot girl summer. Isn't that a thing? Wasn't that a thing? Hot girl summer.
Hot girl summer,
yeah. Hot girl summer. Justin's nodding. There he is.
Yeah, Justin's like, hot girl summer.
He's nodding.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. We hit him over
the one married guy in the group.
Right.
Hot
girl summer.
It's like, hot girl summer. He's the one married one in this.
You can see him head up in here. He's like, God, I don't remember those days.
Yeah. So
if I could
Chef's
just go
kiss.
back. So do you have anybody in the what do you call it, the batch?
do
Do you have a batch
do I
right
have
now?
a batch?
Pool.
Somebody in
Sure.
the queue, maybe.
Sure,
The
there's a-
queue.
Sure, there's a batch.
Sure, there's a batch.
Borna's
There's always
batch.
at least one.
Borna's batch.
Borna's batch. There we
Borna's
go.
batch.
That could be a show on itself.
Right?
Welcome to Borna's batch.
Borna's batch. Yeah. It's been a fun 2022. I'll just leave it at that.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
So.
I can bet there's that.
After not cuffing nor nothing for a while. So
Yeah, you were on a
it's like, this past year I'm like, let me get back out there and
get back there, make up for lost time.
it's been fun.
Yeah.
We'll just say
Good for you.
that.
You can't have it. Are you looking at your wind down already?
I'm looking at you.
That's it?
It's
over?
That's crazy.
See, we can't believe it. It's already, you got to say the closing statements ceremony, you know.
Oh, that's your department.
I don't even forget about it. We can have we'll have one of the professionals do it. Mandy's better at this. You got to go like this now. Look at.
Oh.
We'll have a guest thing on there.
Okay, here we
Look
go.
at- So we're closing out the show now. That was it. We talked to him.
That's it? That rev it up? We talked
wrapped it
about
up.
we
revved it up.
we did rev it up.
We got to
Okay.
bring these guys
Wait,
back.
should I be you or should I be Jess?
You can be
No,
everybody.
be you. I'll be me.
Okay.
Oh, here we go.
Should I do it like you
Yeah.
or do it like me?
Really monotone. Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Rev It Up with John and Jess. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Rumble. Upload pictures and videos of motorized events to our media page at themotormania.com. Contact me at john@themotormania.com.
Or you can contact me at just@themotormania.com. Join us next Sunday at 1:30 on Joy 1340 AM, 98.7 FM. Don't get your tinsel tangle today, everybody. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas.
Oh,